are for educational purposes only. Welcome back to ASMR Soldier. We're going to be going over some more of the handgun, but we're going to introduce the AR-15 that I've had for, 6 years, 7 years. It's a pretty old weapon, and it's not the greatest, okay? Handguns and ARs are expensive, especially to modify. So I have a very stock and basic AR, but it serves the purpose of self-defense. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Guys, before we dive into it, please hit the like button. This is a topic that is not very liked by YouTube's algorithm, so if you could please go ahead and like the video and just leave a comment. It's simple as that. It takes 0.1 second, and likes are free. Likes are free. Check out the Patreon below, where I go a lot more in depth about my personal life. There's pictures on there about the army. There's pictures on there of my fitness journey, so please go ahead and give that a look. Let's go and get into it. Boom. There it is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. What's the first thing we do when we grab a handgun, or any weapon for that matter? We have to clear it. So let's go ahead and do that together. Okay, let's press the ejection button right there. There it goes. Let's set this off to the side. And then we pull back on the slide to make sure that there's no round inside the chamber. One unique feature about the M17, is right here. This little nipple right there. If it'll zoom in, when there's a round in there, it'll be elevated. So I know there's not a round in there, but we're still going to do the responsible thing, and we are still going to clear it. See, there's no magazine. Let's go ahead and see, there's nothing in there. Let's verify when we're gonna lock it to the rear. And we're going to look right in there. If there was a weapon, if there was a round in there, you would see the brass, but there is no round. So let's go ahead and slide that back over. Perfect. Now this weapon is 100% safe to handle. Right, I've got the, what is this? I forgot. The TLR 1H, and it's very compact. It has adapters that you can put on different weapon systems, so it'll fit your handgun or any rail system. We've got the Fox Swamp RMR right there with a red dot, and this gun just fits so perfect into my hand. Right, it's a full size, so I can't conceal this weapon. It has to be open carry, especially in my state, but that's fine. I have no issues with open carry. Some people don't like it because they say it makes them feel like they're a target to the bad guys. But it doesn't bother me. It's just right there on my hip if I ever need it. You see, that's what you would see when you check it, right? You would see that right there, nice and bright. So there's nothing there, right? So let's go ahead and just... Now the magazine is in place. Take it back out. Let's do the other side, huh? loud. Overall, it's a pretty heavy handgun, especially with a loaded magazine all the way full. It's pretty heavy, but it feels really well in the hand, and recoil is minimum because it is a 9mm. It's not a 40 or 45, which has a lot of recoil. This has a ton of recoil, and it's absurd, the amount of recoil, and you can only have a limited amount of ammo, even smaller, because the bullets and the rounds are so much bigger. With a 40 and a 45, that for me, I'd rather have more ammo than the potential stopping power of a 40 or a 45. But that's just me, guys. Okay, don't take what I own and what my beliefs on the weapons are to make any decisions on your behalf. But let's go ahead and get into the AR. All right. So for the AR, I have it right here. All right, it's not very sexy. It doesn't have a very fancy rail system. It's got a guard so that you don't burn your hand. But it does the job. I've shot it before. It shoots really well. It shoots just like my AR in the Army. Well, in the Army it's the M4 version. But it's perfect. The only thing I've done to it is I've put a red dot on it as well. Simply because it just makes things a little easier, quicker acquisition of targets. But again, guys, it's the first thing we do with any weapon system. We clear it. So, as you can see, there is no magazine, but there could still be round in the chamber. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this charging handle back. It's gonna open the dust cover, and it's gonna expose that right there. So let's go ahead and lock the charging handle to the rear. Thing is dark, I can't see anything. Jeez, there it is. Alright, we got it locked to the rear. And now we can look inside the chamber and ensure that there is no round in there. Same thing, you're gonna want to look in there, right? You see that hole? That's where the round goes. And since there is no brass there, and brass is a gold looking color, there's no brass there, this weapon is safe to handle. So I would release the charging handle, but that is really loud. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slowly ride it forward. Right, which means I'm just going to pull it back, let it come forward. Then you tap your forward assist. Now with this system here, just like with the one that I have in the Army, they can get cumbersome, they can get heavy, they swing around, they slap your knee, right? But they are effective. The bullets are small, they're 223 rounds, or 5.56 NATO. You just shoulder mount. And let's see. This trap is so loud. magazines. But my plastic magazines, the ones that are lighter, they're in my office with my kid. We're supposed to go to the range sometime this month, so we're just waiting on that. But this is my AR. Very modest, right? Nothing over the top. It's just a nice home self-defense system for anyone that has something more than a handgun. You know, I also have a shotgun and a Remington 700 bolt-action rifle, which is calibered in 30-06, and 30-06 is a big round. It is a big round. It's got so much recoil that when I'm in the range and I'm shooting it, it will start to bruise up my shoulder. Right, I'll have it right here. I'll have it right here. Actually, there we go. I'll have it right here, right? Tucked in, laying down with my arm over the buttstock, the scope, and every time I'll push it in. You have to, because if there's any space, if there's any spacing between the rifle and your shoulder and you fire, it could potentially dislocate your shoulder. And I already have a bad shoulder. I've already had surgery on it, but you put it in there nice and tight, and even still, there's so much recoil with a 30-06. But man, the Remington is a phenomenal bolt-action rifle. And then I have a 1942 World War II Mosin Nagant, but that one's just so big, it's huge, it will not fit on screen. But that one's as well as bolt action, and it's Russian. It's calibered in the Russian configuration, which is 7.62 by 54R. So it's slightly bigger than an AK-47 round, and that one as well is bolt action. And man, let me tell you, it is just one heck of a gun as well. Crazy recoil, but manageable, and a lot of pain on the shoulder, you know. It's fun. It's fun. And then what I have right here. Before I open it, go ahead and comment what you think this is. What I use this for. You got it locked in? Alright, cool. This is a fire starter. It has nothing to do with handguns, but I have it here because I'm going camping in a couple of weeks, and it is a great way to start a fire, to keep warm now that the winter is coming. Camping in the winter, I've done it. I've never camped in the winter. I've gone to the field in the winter, right? I call that army camping. That doesn't mean it's fun. That doesn't mean the equipment's the best. And when you're out in the field with the army, you know, for noise and light discipline, you can't have a fire to cook your food. You can't have a fire to keep you warm. So that's not very fun. But when you go camping on your own, you can do that. You can start a fire to keep warm and to cook your food. But this is a fire starter, and here's how it works. You just unclip it, and it reveals a magnesium rod. In some cases, it's a different kind of metal, but this is a magnesium rod. And all you do is you have your tinder ready, and you have your little fire pit area ready. You take the striking edge right here, there we go, and you just put really hard, and it will release sparks, and those sparks burn pretty hot. So if there's anything there, some cotton or some kind of flammable material in hit that spark, it's going to ignite. And of course, by then you already have your firewood ready and you have it stacked up, and little by little it'll start coming up, and you could have your firewood ready to feed it, and that way you could cook up your food, have some instant coffee, right? Because we all need our caffeine and our energy, and you could have your warmth, right? Because it's cold during the day, but then at nighttime when the sun goes down and you got a little bit of wind, that is when it gets really cold, and that is when you kind of test yourself to see if you've brought the proper equipment with you. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. You got to see the handgun again. You got to see the AR this time. The next video is going to be the shotgun. And if you will, please hit that like button. Alright, hit that like button. It helps the YouTube algorithm, especially with these topics. These are for educational purposes only. Educational purposes only. Okay? I have to reiterate that. Educational purposes only. Hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. If you are returning to the channel, thank you. You are awesome. And check out the Patreon link. You guys have a great night. And remember, I have got your 6.